Hello everybody, welcome back to Space Pickle Designs. In this video, we are going to be making this really cool Christmas tree component. I am using them for earrings, of course, but you can definitely use it as a pendant. There's a lot of ways to customize this, so just use what beads you have in your stash, what little accent beads like Bicones, fire polish, or whatever to make this work for you. This is a quick, easy, really simple project. So if you'd like to see how we made this Christmas tree, then just keep on watching. So for these little tree components, depending on whether or not you make an earring set or just a pendant, because they are kind of large, you will need per tree 12 inches of 20 gauge wire. Before you start though, the seed beads that you're going to use, and I encourage you to use an 11, this is what I'm going to use. You just want to make sure that the seed beads will fit on your wire, because there are some varying thicknesses of the holes in certain types of beads. So what I'm using this is a Bicones German style wire in 20 gauge, and it's silver, and I'm using Matubo 11Os. So I love these beads. They're really affordable. You see that I get these in like big old bags, and it's just so fun to kind of pour them out into your little bead tray. I just go through so many, that's why I have these big old bead bags. But you're gonna need probably like maybe a gram, probably not even that many. So this is a really good project to use up the little like last bits of seed beads you have in your tubes. So you can use about a gram of seed beads. I'm gonna use some crystal beads for the star portion. So the topper, if you have a star bead, this would be a perfect time to use it. If you have other crystals that you like in place of the triangle beads, this is a really adaptable little earring or pendant. I am using a 6mm cube for the base. I wish I had these in a straight up brown. I have these in like a gray opal, which is just gonna have to work because I like the 6mm size for this size component. But you could definitely use a 4 if you had a 4 or whatever. So you can even use like a round bead at the bottom. It doesn't have to be a square. I just like the square because it looks like a tree trunk. I'm gonna make these into earrings, so I have 1 ear wire per component, and I think I'm gonna try to add in some of these metals. And these are just like your crystal rondelle spacers. I think I'm gonna put one on top of the tree trunk area just to add a little bit of sparkle. And then the little main part of the show here is gonna be these 4mm bicones, and this is in a matte AB mix, I believe from Precioso. And these are just really, really cute and fun, and it kind of mimics the like retro, really giant colored lights. And then you will need some head pins. So I'm just gonna use probably these, or because they have a small head on them, even though these are kind of hard to use, they're stainless steel, so they're very, very tough. Just use what you have. If you have decorative head pins and you want to use those, by all means do that. But let's go ahead and get started into the component. What I have here is my 12-inch piece of wire, and I'm gonna find roughly the middle. You will have about an inch excess on each side, so just use it. Just use that excess. Make sure to keep your 12 inches because it just makes everything easier in the end. And so I kind of find the middle here, and I take my round nose pliers, and I'm just making a loop around my pliers like this. And it doesn't have to be big, it's just our attachment point. And so you can see that this is going to be the tip of our tree. So it's pretty cute. And then we're going to feed on 7 seed beads. So I'll pull these down. I'm just using this as a needle. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna bring it down. So the tree is upside down. Obviously the tree is gonna look like this, right? But in order to keep the seed beads on, I do like to keep it like that. And what I do Just make sure what direction you pick. It really doesn't matter which way you turn your loop, but just make sure it's the same for every side. And so I'm gonna turn the loop this way. So back towards me. And it's just a tiny little loop. And what you wanna do here is just flatten out your loop. So we have that right there, all right? And that kind of prevents these seed beads from going anywhere. And it gives you an attachment point for a dangle, which is really what I'm looking for. So I'm gonna straighten out my other side, and I'm gonna put 7 seed beads on there as well. So I got my 7 down. And so to mirror that other side, I just flip the piece around and have it where I was working with the other side, just like in the same position. You don't want to put your pliers really close to the beads. You want there to be just a little bit of space, because when you turn your loop, it's going to go under, and you still want enough room to where you can press it closed. All right, so this is going to be the start of your tree. We have the start of our tree. Now we're going to do the next level, and we have 13 seed beads for this one. All right, we've brought them down. And again, you want to put your piece in that same position that you were comfortable with. Put your pliers there. Keep a little bit of distance, just a tiny little skosh. And I'm using the smallest like loop I can possible, pretty much. And I'm just turning my loop. And from here, you squish your loop to secure your seed beads and to make that loop. 13 more seed beads on the other wire. Bring them down. This is what you have. Get your pliers in place. See, there's a little bit of room. Bend your wire around. Don't worry too much about the shape right now, because you can definitely, you know, get that going once you have all your beads on. So we're getting very tree-like, okay? It will come together once you start forming your tree. And you can also play with the number of beads. Like if this doesn't look tree enough for you, then definitely add or subtract as you see fit. My next level, this is like my final level, is going to be 18 seed beads. 18 seed beads down. And what you want to make sure is right here, so you see that this wire is going behind. You want it to go in front the next time, so it helps the structure to be braided like that. So just keep that in mind. Again, I'm gonna go in with my pliers almost snug to the seed beads, leave that little bit of room. Again, you're like, I get it, we all get it. But yeah, we put the loop, make sure your wire is smushed. Bring our 18 seed beads down. Turn our loop. Okay, so now here's where you can kind of do some of your forming. So I have another piece that I'm going to try to mimic, and that's just kind of helpful for you too, like if you want to make earrings. Kind of forming it now helps with that bottom, this bottom section here. And so I do want to put some seed beads on here first to kind of see where we're at. And so each side has 10. And for this one, you kind of will have to put them both on before you twirl or anything like that. I'm just gonna double check these. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 3, 4. Okay. So we have 10 on each side, and so where they meet, it's kind of like this, right? Where they meet, we're gonna do like a brio wrap. So you find your shorter side, which I think mine are pretty even, honestly, so it doesn't really matter, but a brio wrap, I'm gonna take one wire, point it up like that, and then the other is going to be more, just a little bit. So we wanna make like a right angle, kind of. So you leave your straight piece as it is, and with this one, since I have beads in the way, I'm just gonna use my fingers to get that first kind of wrap going. Just wrap it around that main wire. And then from here, you can really use your pliers or not. It's just really dependent on you. I think for this one, I am gonna just use my fingers. So you wanna make sure you pick what side you wanna be the back side. Just a little bit of attention to detail on that. And let's see, I want it to be the same, so I'm gonna make this side the back side. We clip off that short wire, quote unquote. And you have your tree. Now from here, definitely you want to make sure like things are lining up. They are going to be on 2 different ears, so if it's not perfect, you're fine. You're fine. Like, relax, you know. I feel like sometimes I even get caught up in that like perfectionism. It's fine. It's fine. They're funky. They're retro colors. Like, it's fine. At this point, you're done with your seed beads, and I'm looking for some of my other components. I have my 6mm cubes, and these are Swarovski. Like I said, it's in like a gray opal. I think it's gonna work, but really it's just because I have like opal or like matted bicones. So what I want to do, I kind of want to jazz it up just a little bit. I wish I had a square dowel, but I don't. And so what I mean by square dowel is just like a square rhinestone spacer. So I have them in gold, but I do not have them in silver, and I don't want to mix metals on this one. So I'll just give you a sample of what it would look like. So you have your square dowel here. So this is what a round one looks like, and that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But the square one, this was like a 6mm square one. The way that it nests is just like chef's kiss, right? But don't go out and buy square dowels just because you want to do this project, unless it's like your favorite project ever, right? Just make do with what you have, because it's gonna be cute regardless. So I think I have like a 5mm little rondelle or rhinestone spacer. And from here, I'm just gonna do like the simplest. I don't want there to be anything at the end. And so what I'm gonna do is cut real short. And that's real short, right? And you're like, oh my God, you just ruined it. I'm just making a head pin. And so I just need this to stop the bead from coming off. So here is my little tree without our ornaments, without our star. This is our bare bones tree. And she looks kind of cute, right? All right, so let's go ahead and get our head pins out, and we will start making some ornaments. So possibilities are really endless here. You can use whatever bead that you want. I definitely want to use some good head pins on this. Normally I would either make my own or this, that, or the other. I just want this to be like pretty cute, so I'm gonna make this very simple. I'm gonna put a bicone on a ball head pin, cut a really small little length because I want the loop to be tiny. And then I'm gonna take my fine pliers, and by fine I mean just like really small ones, and then just gently roll a loop. My loop is so stinking tiny. Normally I'm a big boy loop kind of guy, but not for this one because this is a mini tree. And so you definitely want some hanging from the loops. But if you want some hanging over the green parts of the tree, so like in here, on here, this, that, or the other, I think I'm going to put one in the middle there too, because if I make just a small one and it hangs right in the middle, I think that'll look really, really cute. You're going to want to make your loops larger so that it goes over those larger areas, okay? So play around with it. Attach as many bicones as you want. I would encourage you to put them at least on the loops. And yeah, we'll see what it looks like. So I'll go ahead and just put them on the loops to show you what it looks like in case you kind of want to stop there. But then, you know me, I'm probably going to add a little bit more. Here's our tree with just the loops used, and oh my God, it's already looking so cute. But I think I am going to add just a couple more. Nothing too crazy, right? And then we will go ahead and add the star and the ear wire, and we'll be done. Oh my gosh, look how cute it is. So I did hang a dangle from the middle here because our loop is big enough to where I'm going to be able to put our star on top. but I added quite a few little ornaments on there, and I think, honestly, I feel like the more that you put on there, the better it looks. And so I'm gonna grab some triangle beads. I'll probably grab 2. I'll grab 3 out, but I probably will only use 2. And I'm using a scrap piece of wire, so I just had this like little component that I was practicing on, and I'm gonna cut off this straight piece. And this is the same wire that we used with the tree. And I am going to turn the tiniest loop that I can. And I do want to see if this fits over, because I might have to make it a little bit bigger if it doesn't hang freely, but the intent is to make it the smallest loop possible. Okay, so it's working for now. I probably would have made it bigger. Actually, let's just go ahead and do that. Let's not be a bad influence. But you know, you just gotta take the time to do it right. So let's see if this works a little better. Okay, yeah, that works a little better. It's still a tiny loop, but what we can do now is add our star. And so you just do it to where you like it. I do have a bead cap here. I want to see what it looks like. This is from the bargain bead box, and it's just a bead cap that I'm going to put this side down. And let's see, I'll put the star on top. It's okay. Let's see what it looks like without it. Let's try another of our rondelles. This is a bigger one. If we put these in there to kind of nest it. How do we feel? So there's lots of options here. Let me try the smaller one. So it's really up to you. I think I'm just gonna go with this crystal. We'll just keep it simple, but you can definitely elevate it. I'm gonna pull out a couple more bead caps from my little metal stash and see if I can find something that's a little bit smaller, because I kind of like how that looked. All right, so I found one. I think that's gonna work. And so what it is just like this filigree bead cap. So you can definitely bend it. And what I did, I put it on there and I bent it to the shape of the top of the tree. So it's kind of like clamped down a little bit. And so it's gonna stay that sort of direction. And then we just have to decide how many. I'm honestly thinking I'm gonna go with 1. I do have a larger crystal out. Excuse me. This is a 6mm. And let's just see what she looks like. I like the size. The color is not my favorite, but I think we're gonna go with that because I do like the size. Let me see if I'll check my 6mm and see if I have any other colors that I like. So I did find a 6mm AB, and I think that's what I was kind of missing. I kind of wanted that crystally shine. And so this is a Czech Preciosa 6mm crystal AB bicone. And I think that works a little bit better with our components that we have. So I'm just gonna make a loop that's perpendicular. Again, a simple loop. This is a chunky one. This is such a chunky one. So your earring, your pendant, whatever you decide to do is done. Just molding that bead cap a little bit. And what do you guys think? What do you think? So I am going to put it on the ear wire, but this is your component. I don't have time to do the other one tonight. So you will see this thumbnail as like either a one earring or just a pendant. But I think it is so cute. And it really gives me that holiday vibe. So sorry for the like trial and error and all that stuff. You know, that's what designing is all about. And with these past couple videos, I've been trying to bring you into that like behind the scenes design process, because sometimes it can be easy to get overwhelmed by designers that have like everything figured out. Well, obviously like that's their job, right? But don't underestimate the amount of trial and error that goes on prior to filming that video. And so, you know, I started this project yesterday. I really wanted to get some other like Christmas tree stuff out, but I even had to take a break because I was like, it's not working for me. I don't know. And then I just thought about it today and I came up with this little design, and I think it turned out better than I thought it was going to. So I love that. I hope you give it a try. I think you should have the components on hand, at least for the most part. You know, a lot of people have got Bicones. You could put little fire polish there. You could put whatever other crystals you want. There's so many options with this. But anyway, let me know what you thought about this little teeny tree down below in the comments. And I hope you are staying safe and well. And I will see you soon tomorrow. Bye.